in 2019, the RAND Corporation designed a plan for Ukraine, a war that would have consumed Russian forces and money, of course, for a long time. Do you think the situation is such, I mean, that Ukraine is just like Afghanistan?
Yes, it is like Afghanistan and much worse, because Afghanistan, in terms of the former USSR, was a faraway state. But Ukraine is very close, because we have been and we are immediate neighbors. But according to this forecasting by RAND Corporation, it looks like the same way they have predicted, because Ukraine started the third massive armed aggression, first against Donbass, and starting from February this year, and later started aggression against the Russian Federation proper. And that is very bad, because people from both sides are losing human lives, material buildings, social infrastructure, etc., etc. And there is a threat to use open arms, direct arms against nuclear power plants, like Zaporozhye nuclear power plant, and sometimes Ukrainian armed forces are shelling nuclear power plant located near Kursk, I mean the continental Russian territory.
So the situation now is worse than it was during the Cold War.
Yes, it is. Much worse than it was in the Cold War. And we never labeled it the cessation of the Cold War I. We are calling it Cold War 2.0, the second version of the Cold War. Much deadlier, much dangerous, and with gloomy perspectives.
The U.S. practically thorned the INF treaty about, the intermediate range missiles. But apparently Biden is now deploying these missiles in Europe.
Yeah, Lockheed Martin, to the best of my knowledge, has signed a specific contract with the Pentagon to produce INF-related medium-range nuclear-tipped missiles.
Nuclear?
Nuclear-tipped.
Oh, gosh.
Nuclear-tipped. Because there are no constraints for the US government and for the Pentagon, because the INF, original INF, signed in 1987, is dead. Donald Trump, ex-US president,
yes,
predecessor of Mr. Joseph Biden, has torn it off completely. And their hands are just free. They can do whatever they want, because the treaty is dead, no constraints, no obstacles. And this kind of missiles would be deployed, or probably started deployment on the European continent, plus they will be also deployed on the other side of the globe in Asia-Pacific, in the Pacific area. And besides that, predecessors at the post of US presidents, Joseph Obama and Donald Trump, the first one, Barack Obama, started deployment of missile defense operational base in Romania and later in Poland. But a peculiar thing with that plan is that besides housing or inserting defensive systems like missile interceptor missiles, Americans can also put into the same silos, into the same launching tubes, offensive weapons. Offensive weapons, not only defensive, but offensive as well. So it's a kind of double-headed Janus. Two functions are applied to these operational missile defense systems in Romania. It's already operational in Poland. It will be operational very soon. And they are directed, aimed at the European assets of the Russian Federation. That's not a secret.
And could they also have a nuclear head?
Oh yes, especially offensive systems. For example, in Europe, from March 2004, a long time ago, NATO started operation of its air force called Baltic Air Policing. It initially it included 3 Baltic nations: Latvia, and Estonia, and later on Poland also acceded to this operation. And inside this operation, NATO used DCA, or dual capable aircraft, that are able to deliver not only conventional bombs, but also nuclear-tipped bombs as well. And we do not know in Russia whether real nuclear bombs are used in this operation called Baltic Air Policing or not, because we cannot send our inspection teams to these 4 countries just bordering the Baltic Sea area. And but we still suspect that nuclear-tipped bombs have already been delivered to these 4 countries and to be used by dual-capable aircraft, and this operation is uninterrupted. It's continuous. When we are sitting and talking to each other, and we will sit tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, it's 24 hours a day. It's each month, it's each year. So, and it's very close. If you look at the map, you will see that this kind of operation is conducted just any second, any moment, very close to our shores, to our territory, to the territory of our ally, Belarus, and Russian exclave called Kaliningradskaya Oblast, or in English, Kaliningrad region. By the way, where my mom is still living.
Oh my!
And that's why I should defend her.
You're worried
not
about
visiting
it. Yes.
as a son, as a elder son, but as a protector, as a defender. Yeah, and we have witnessing in the past and currently a lot of nuclear exercises of the Air Force of NATO called Steadfast Noon, and the other is an abbreviation called Snowcat. But it's actually not a snowcat as an animal, but it's a simulation of nuclear attacks with the support of conventional non-nuclear aircraft.
Now, actually, Mr. Biden, I think, organized the arrival in December of the B-6112 in Europe, and they're going to be with a nuclear head, of course, and they're going to be sent to 3 countries, which is Italy, Germany, and Belgium, and it's possible Poland as well that requested the bombs. What is going to be your reaction?
Oh, Jenny, excuse me. It seems to me that you meant F-35. Right.
F-35.
No, the aircraft is called F-35A or B. 2 options.
The aircraft, but I'm talking about the bomb.
B-6112. Yes, B-6112. It has been already delivered, not as a Politico just internet source announced recently that it will be sent later this year in December, earlier than it has been planned. But we have an information that
they're already here.
This, yes, already arrived, because specific aircraft like F-35A has been already delivered to NATO member countries, and even Finland, that has not become yet a full-fledged member of NATO alliance, just submitted application form and waiting for ratification by all NATO member states. Its accession to NATO community, also asked 64 F-35s capable to deliver nuclear weapons. And recently there are voices from Helsinki that they would like also to have nuclear weapons, US nuclear weapons, on the Finnish soil, like Germany has, like Belgium has, like the Netherlands have, and Italy also, and Turkey plus. Yeah. So Europe is becoming like a nuclear powder keg.
How do you explain this foolishness?
It's madness, militarism, aggressiveness, false interpretation of their own ideas that they would win nuclear war if they deploy it and they use it in the first nuclear strike or first nuclear use. But that is wrong. There will be no winners, no losers. All will die.
Losing,
yes, all losing. That's why.
All losing. But the point is this: is due to the fact that the United States, of course, tried to whiten the image of the nuclear bomb.
Oh yes, it's like an innocent arm.
Yes.
Innocent weapon could be used, and radioactive pollution will disappear in 20 or 15 years time. So, and it's very alarming when I read the recently stamped nuclear posture review, or actually nuclear strategy of the United States, released recently on the 27th of October by Mr. Joseph Biden's administration. It has two options. One is top secret, non-published, definitely. One is published for general public. It is in the internet. And I look through, and there is a clause to deploy more forward-based nuclear assets close to the Russian territory. And it's very alarming, very alarming. And there are no dates to cancel this kind of deal, this kind of project. So forever, for good.
What is going Russia to do?
Well, to defend ourselves, to defend our ally Belarus and other members of the Collective Treaty Security Organization. We have a number of countries from the Soviet Empire who just acceded to it, to modify our nuclear capabilities as well, and to be on a par at the same level, because we will only keep our, for example, tactical nuclear weapons exclusively on our soil, not unlike Americans, that they have already moved a lot of tactical nuclear bombs in mid-50s last century and still are keeping them. But forward-based nuclear assets, it means that they will come closer to our land, and we have to be vigilant. We put forward a lot of diplomatic initiatives to asking the Americans to remove all these tactical nuclear weapons from European soil, from all countries I enumerated, right? But they refused. In December last year, we also put forward quite a comprehensive package of proposals called Mutual Security Guarantees. Mutual for NATO, for the United States and other NATO member countries, and for the Russian Federation and our allies. But the United States alone, in a special answer, in its answer, and NATO as organization gave also negative answer to all this stuff. And that's very bad. That's very bad. Nuclear sword of Damocles is still hanging above our heads, everywhere, here in this hall, in other part of Europe, everywhere, and around the globe. Around the globe, I mean strategic nuclear weapons. Just several figures, if you do not mind, Jenny. American NATO allies permitted to offer their military airfields, 19, to give a permission for American heavy strategic bombers with nuclear weapons, rockets and nuclear bombs, to land, to have a rest, and then flew further deep into the territory of European nations. Very close to Kaliningrad region, where my mom is living, heavy strategic US bomber B-52H dropped dummy, a mock bomb, nuclear bomb, just 60 kilometers from the Neman River. Neman River is a natural border line separating Lithuania and the Kaliningrad region. 60 kilometers only, tested. Landed, for example, at the Air Force base in Estonia named Emary. Also, during long aggression of Ukraine against Donbass that actually started not in 2022 but in 2014, the same type of aircraft which will be in service as newly adopted USNPR nuclear posture review says will be operational until 2050 after several modernization and life extension program, flew very close to the Russian territory, separating from the aircraft to the Russian border 20 kilometers only. And we do not know what is carrying Madame Victoria Nuland's biscuits or nuclear arms.
I know. This is very
bad. This is very bad. It's continuous nuclear threat.
Yes. B-6112 will be in the European bases. The three countries we know, Italy, Germany, Belgium, and possibly Poland. What is Russia going to do? Do you think Russia will bomb the European bases?
Our contemporary nuclear strategy prohibits to do this. We only use nuclear weapons against nuclear installations of NATO, storage site, various hangars, etc. Only if we are attacked. Because we never attacked.
You're not going to use it as a first strike.
No. Look, from mid-50s last century, when Americans brought its tactical nuclear weapons to Germany, Italy, then Turkey, Belgium, and the Netherlands, we never attacked all these countries. You know.
It was not such a situation.
It was not. It was, though it was Cold War.
As you said, it was a lighter Cold War.
Yes, but nevertheless, there was a détente. We have managed to sign and ratify a cluster of arms control agreements, especially dealing with strategic nuclear forces, but abstaining tactical nuclear weapons. We managed to sign ABM treaty, anti-ballistic missile treaty, and many others. But currently we have signed nothing. 4 arms control treaties has been just destroyed by the previous administration, and Mr. Joseph Biden is not going to revive them.
Of course. But supposing that there is a mistake and you're going to be attacked.
There might be mistakes. There could be mistakes.
Yes. Would you react bombing the European bases?
If our territory for sure is attacked by nuclear or any mass media weapons like chemical or biological, bacteriological and toxic weapons plus nuclear, we will hit back.
And of course, and you're going to hit bases.
Okay, yes,
that's
yes,
sure.
That's it, for sure, for sure. If we are attacked, we can even attack other NATO nuclear installations or missile defense bases. If NATO use conventional forces against us, especially when the security, overall security or existence of the Russian Federation will be endangered, the existence. So the current war between us and Ukraine does not affect our existence as a state. And the previous war of Germany against South Ossetia in 2008 was not touching the existence of the Russian Federation. It was a regional small conflict. But nevertheless, our military strategy is still valid, and we will respond definitely as a second nuclear and other hypersonic strike against decision-making centers and against military bases where these kind of weapons are located.
It's very sad, but
very sad. I know. But what we shall do?
No.
We cannot surrender.
That's very bad. Anyway, thank you so much.
My pleasure.